Hi everyone, I'm Athena Ali, the Get Noticed coach, career strategist and government job application specialist. Welcome to my live broadcast today on the importance of KPIs or key performance indicators in your search for a six-figure public sector job. Now, before I start today, I'd like to do my acknowledgement to country. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community, and I pay respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Welcome. Okay, now in this weekly live, I'd like to talk about the importance of our KPIs in your search for a six-figure public sector job. Now, if you're here live, say hi in the comments below, and if you're watching the replay, add hashtag replay in the comments below. You can also view this on my YouTube channel if for some reason you lose the connection here on LinkedIn. So first, I might start off with a little bit around KPIs and what they actually mean. Now, I know most of you will know what they are because you're working and you should have come across them, but I'll give a brief definition about what key performance indicators are. And they're basically the critical or key indicators of progress towards an end result, so an outcome that an employer will be looking for. So KPIs provide that focus for any strategic or operational improvement, and they actually create the basis of decision making as well and help us focus attention on what matters most as well. So there was a famous quote. Hello, someone's down below. Hi, Uber. Down below saying that what gets measured, I don't know who said it, but so this is not my quote, but I will quote it. It says, what gets measured gets done, okay? And this is why key performance indicators are important. You either have them or you don't, or you monitor them or you don't. And most of the time they're ignored. But when it comes to apply for a senior public sector role, they're a necessity. So let me tell you why, okay? Now, if you are struggling to find metrics for your accomplishment or achievement statements in your key selection criteria or even in your resume, the biggest problem I've seen is that people lack metrics around the proof of whether they've done a good job or not. Okay, and I'll keep asking and asking and asking the same questions and I won't get any results back. And it's very hard to write an achievement statement if you actually don't know what you have achieved in your role and how well you have achieved it. So it's not simply okay to say, yep, I did that in my job. You need to tell me how well you did it, okay? And your key performance indicators will help you, or the results of them. Now, the problem a lot of public sector organisations have, or managers in the public sector have, is that they're not setting really good key performance indicators that are actually monitored or that have relevant metrics around them. And therefore, when staff do try to leave and try to get a job elsewhere, it's really hard for them to answer questions around, you know, how much money did you save, or how much time did you save, or how fast did the project happen, etc. And most people look at me with a puzzled face. And that's because they've never been exposed to the metrics around their own personal performance. Okay, and so when I ask them these questions, as I said, they'll look at me with a puzzled face or give me really vague answers, or they'll tell me that they don't have metrics and they don't know what they are. And sometimes this even happens at the management level, which means the director hasn't even set up proper performance indicators for their staff and hasn't monitored them with any definable statistics or metrics. Now, it's very hard to prove that you've done a good job if you don't have measurable performance indicators. Now, some performance indicators are difficult to measure, but it doesn't mean they can't be measured. And good managers and good leaders will set really good metrics and really good indicators that are measurable. Because without that, you don't know if you're doing a good job and you don't know how well you're doing in your job. The other thing is as a manager, if you're not setting performance indicators and monitoring them, you can't actually praise your staff for a job well done if you actually don't know what they've achieved. So they need to know it, and so do you. You don't know what a good job looks like, and that's the whole point of key performance indicators. And I know a lot of people get scared when they hear that because they think, oh, my boss is going to follow me around and micromanage me. And, you know, if I don't do this or don't do that, it's going to be, you know. But what you have to understand is that without them, you can't actually prove to anybody that you've done a good job. Okay. And it's, you know, basically a set of tasks that you have to complete within a certain time frame or within a certain type of quality, and your performance is measured against that. Now, if you don't know what those are and you don't know how to monitor them, you know, you have a massive problem. And this is why staff can get disillusioned and not understand what their job is there for, because they don't know what they're meant to be doing, and they don't know when to do it by or what sort of quality, and no one's really monitoring their work. And so then they want to leave, but then when they go to leave, they have a hard time leaving because their applications can't tell us what they're really good at and what they've actually achieved, okay? And then they start thinking they're not doing a good job, and then that's not really the case. But yeah, that's why they're important. So if you're a staff member at the moment that doesn't have key performance indicators, or they're not being monitored or measured, you need to find out what they are, and you need to find out from your manager how well you're doing that. And you need to actually be measuring this with some way, okay? Without these, as I said, it's very hard to write a really pointed resume or selection criteria if you don't know how well you're doing in your current role, and you need to know that, okay? And the other thing is you don't know if you're not actually completing those, you know, those requirements, are you actually providing the outcomes for the public? And if you are, then you should know what that looks like at the end, okay? As I said, having key performance indicators means you should have metrics around your performance, and you can talk to that in an interview or in your documents. And it's the way you stand out and be different. So if you do want to stand out and be different, you don't get this from your manager, you need to get that now and ask them for it, and actually ask for that feedback and ask for what you're doing well, so that you know how to market that when you want to leave, okay? And the thing is if they're not monitoring you and they're not measuring your performance, guess what? They also can't apply for a job and tell people that they've done a good job if they don't know how well their staff are going. So it works always. It works well for you, so you know how well you're doing and the results you're providing to the public, but it also serves a purpose for your managers. They can't move around, or they'll find it really hard to move around too if they don't know how well you're going. Okay, now that's the end of my live today, and I hope you found that useful. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one to either rewrite your application documents, or you want to be coached on how to market yourself, how to be unique and stand out from everybody else and land a six-figure public sector job, then get in touch with me. I'll leave my contact details down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you to those people who are here. Thank you, Uva, for being here. Hi, Zoe. Sorry, I didn't see your comment until now. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this live, and I shall see you next week.